Hello and welcome, Killer Off-Road Hobbies fans. Today we're doing our first look video of the Team K.O.R.H Dementor. This is a 1/8 scale 4-wheel drive monster truck, stunt truck. Basically, it is Team K.O.R.H's answer to the Outcast. And man, this thing looks pretty cool. So let's dive into it. Let's go over the boring stuff first, as always. So over here, what you'll get in the box is basically an antenna tube that comes in this little baggie. You get 3 manuals in here, one for your transmitter, one for the truck, and one for the ESC. All of these are really detailed. They go through all the things you would need to know owning this truck. Be aware that this does not come with any tools or anything like that. So you will need your own tools to actually work on this thing, to tighten the wheel nuts and whatnot. Other than that, the owner's manual and everything is very, very thorough. Has all the part numbers and everything that you would need for this truck. So kudos for that. Kind of a bummer that you don't even get a wheel wrench though. So that is something I would suggest that Team K.O.R.H maybe include in their kits in future, releases. Alrighty, another thing is you get this 2.4 gigahertz transmitter, the S2R. It does run on 4 AA's, which is nice, but it is pretty toy-ish feeling. It's solid plastic. It does have this foam on the wheel here, and buried down in here, hopefully you guys can see, are your steering reverse switches. You also have an option on top here to have 50-50 throttle and brake, or 50-50 throttle and reverse, or 70-30 on the switch on the top right here. This is your steering dual rate switch, low, high. It's weird that the little knob on it doesn't coincide with the little graph here that you have. So that's pretty funny. And then you have, of course, your trims. You have throttle trim here via this button, and then you have your steering trim here via this button. You do have a bind button here as well, and then your off-on switch is going to be on the back. Nothing special. 2.4 gigahertz should get the job done. Now everybody, off to the truck. Initially, when I bought this thing, just be wary that this is the only body style it comes with, the only color scheme and everything. But I do think it looks pretty good. The body feels nice and rigid. It's not nearly as rigid as the Outcast body, that is for sure. But it is real old school looking, truck style. It does have this roll bar in the back that is bolted underneath, which is pretty nice. I mean, I might go ahead and just reinforce this thing right out of the gate, especially this back part here. I don't see this lasting very long at all. But the body does look better than I expected, even though I really, not a huge fan of the look. It does look a little bit better than I expected. So, we'll have to see how this thing holds up. But here's a good look at it for you guys. Dementor. Very cool. I like the name of this truck, by the way. All right, so now moving on to the truck. It's very similar, kind of in the look and feel of this truck, as it goes with the Outcast. It's very similar, but this thing is supposed to be able to do 70 miles an hour out of the box on 6S. It doesn't say if you have to gear it up or not, according to the specs that I found online. It does have a 5mm thick rear aluminum shock tower, which is very cool. This thing looks beefy. Let's get a closer look. So this is 5mm thick right here, and this is 4mm thick right here in the front. It's aluminum. The shocks are aluminum, and they are threaded bodied, so you'll be able to adjust a little bit here and there. You do have several adjustment points on your shock towers to move around your shocks to kind of fine tune your suspension a little bit. This thing is running a K.O.R.H, I hope I'm saying that right, 185 3 to 6S capable ESC with XT90 connectors. I'm very happy about that because I run XT90s. And then it's running a 2050 4-pole brushless motor, of course, from K.O.R.H. And again, I hope I'm saying that right. But I mean, that's basically right in line with everything you would find in the Outcast. And it is running a 20 kg waterproof steering servo. All the electronics on this thing are waterproof. Now you do have this nice tower right here that will help hopefully save your body. I think this is going to be a little bit low to actually do anything positive to saving the body, but at least if it smashes down the body, it will kind of help save your electronics and whatnot. I am seeing an aluminum servo horn here, so that is very cool. And then this rear wing, I mean, it comes with this wheelie bar here. This rear wing is set down nice and low, and look at this support here. Jeez, that thing is reinforced very, very well. Now we do have to see how the plastics hold up on this. I have zero experience with anything Team K.O.R.H, so we'll just have to see. I just got this thing. I wanted to get it up and let you guys know what we're in for. These are very reminiscent of the D-Boots backflips. They come in at 3 inches wide and 6.5 inches tall. They are very, very soft. The rubber and foams are very, very soft. So I do expect these things to balloon quite badly, actually. I mean, look at this. This is barely squeezing. So it is running your standard 17 millimeter hexes. So new tires will be readily available. Very, very easy to get. You do have a 2-stage chassis brace right here in the front, and it is running a flat pan chassis that is 3 millimeters thick, and you have a plastic brace here in the rear as well. Now the chassis, I do have to say, is very, very different than the Outcast chassis or the K.O.R.H chassis. The chassis is not very similar at all. I'll flip it over in a second. But we are running typical H arms in the rear with adjustable camber links up on top. So your camber is adjustable, but toe is not in the rear. And then in the front, we're running a pillow ball suspension with adjustable turnbuckles on the bottom. So your toe and camber will be adjustable here. Moving to the front, it's got this basically reminiscent of the K.O.R.H or Outcast little bumper here. You do have anti-roll bars or sway bars or track bars, whatever you want to call them. They can pretty much be called any one of those names. I'm seeing CVDs in the front with dog bones on the inner towards the filled diff. This has 3 diffs and they are all oil filled. And then in the rear, I am seeing just your typical dog bone style drive shafts in the rear. Other than that, I mean, this thing looks pretty well built and well put together. The plastics feel good. I mean, the battery tray, we'll have to see about this battery tray because it's not very high in the front. So if you run brick packs, I think you'll be completely fine. But I think if you run dual packs, you're going to run into the same problems that people had with the Armas, where your pack will slide around. Your top pack will slide around. Now, if you set both of them in there sideways next to each other, that might work out. Depending on what kind of packs you have, you'll have to kind of play with that. I'm going to run brick packs in here, so I don't think I'll have to worry about that. But that is a little fruit for thought for you guys that plan on running dual packs. And I do see this little antenna wire sticking out right here. So that tube they sent you will, if you feel like it, will need to be installed. I'm going to go ahead and put it on after this video. All right, so here's the underneath. Like I said, this is a flat pan aluminum chassis, but it looks It looks very different. It's got these plastic wings on it, but it's very different than the Outcast and the Creighton. You know, they tend to like kind of swoop down from like mid right here. You know, they tend to come to more of a point, where this is just like kind of out and then squeezes back in. So I would say the differences, like the A arms are different, you know, upper and lower in the front. The rear H arm is different. I mean, the tires are pretty similar, but I don't think they're going to have any issues getting sued wise by ARMA, because this is quite a different platform. I thought it was going to be basically like super similar, but it is quite a bit different. So last but certainly not least, as I said, this is a 1/8 scale four-wheel drive monster truck. So the dimensions are going to be, it's 21.5 inches long, basically from the end of the wheelie bar to the front of the tires, because they stick out further than the body. It is going to run you 18 inches wide from outside of tire to outside of tire, and it is 8.5 inches tall at its tallest point. Now the suspension feels very plush and very nice. It might be a little bit soft for bigger jumping. We might have to put a little bit thicker oil in there. We'll have to see. It does feel very nice though. Very nice, smooth, fluent. I think this thing's gonna do very well. Now, just to voice a couple of concerns, I think the tires are gonna balloon very badly. Even on 4S, I mean, they are super soft. So that's probably gonna be a problem, and we might have to, you know, like strap these tires to keep them from ballooning bad. I know in videos I've always said that, you know, I don't really mind the tires ballooning, but that will probably be a problem for somebody. And other than that, I mean, I just can't wait to take this out and test it. I think I pretty much went over everything. So if you like this video and appreciate it, please give it that old thumbs up. If you did not like this video and I did not fulfill your needs for a first look, go ahead and smash that thumbs down. Click that bell and subscribe if you're new here to be notified to any of my newest videos. And we will see you on the next video. Until then, peace.